Hey,
Where are they?
back home. If I could use some help. Oh, no, there.
Kill. Just miss. Shit. Although I am not a pro player, but if you are a pro player also, then definitely there is a necessity for you to have this. Hello guys, myself Sajan, welcome to Career Consult channel. So as you saw in the video, you might have understood that although you are a pro player, there is a definitely necessity for you to have the weapon in order to win the match. So similarly, while we are learning coding, there is a necessity of we using the text editors or IDEs which will help us and which will provide us few features which will going to help us to build our project easily. So without wasting time, let's get started with today's video. And in this video we will be going to install three softwares. First one is the Sublime text, which is a text editor, and the next one is Xampp, and the third one is MySql Workbench. And I really request you to watch this video until end, because if you miss even a single step, you will be getting error and you won't be able to successfully install that software. So watch this video until end. First software which we will be going to install is the Sublime text, which is a text editor. So I am in the website of the Sublime text. Don't worry, I will be providing the each and every link in the description. So watch this video clearly until end, and then just go to the websites and then download that. And if you have any doubts, then definitely revisit the YouTube video and just watch that video. And if you still have doubts, there is a comment section, just comment it down. So the first software is the Sublime text. So I'm just going to download for Windows as I'm using Windows. So there will be a pop-up and I will just save this, and it is just having 10.4 MB, so you can see that. So now let us go to the Xampp. So I will also provide the link in the description. Please go through the same link, and I am just going and downloading free download for PC. So I'm just going to save this file. So you can see here it is having 157 MB and my internet is really slow, so it will really take some time. So in that time, I thought of explaining the PHP and also MySQL and SQL. So let me just start with PHP. So the first question is, what is PHP? So the PHP, its full form is Hypertext Preprocessor. Is it a programming language? So definitely it is not a programming language, it is a scripting language. So in my previous video, while I talked about the HTML, I said HTML is a markup language, and I also shown the difference between the markup language and also the programming language. So if you haven't watched that video, just go and watch that video. And in this video, the PHP is the scripting language. And what is the difference between this scripting language and programming language means it is similar to the markup language and programming language. The scripting language will be interpreted by the interpreter, whereas the programming language will be compiled before executing. So this is the main and major difference between the scripting language and the programming language. So this is about the PHP in brief. So now let's go to the SQL and MySQL. So the first question which will be arising in the mind is SQL and MySQL both are same? So definitely SQL and MySQL are not same. And another question is, SQL is a programming language. So while answering this question, I would like to clear one thing. What is a programming language? So a programming language is a vocabulary and a set of grammatical rules for instructing a computer or computing device to perform specific task. Means the programming language will be having some rules and some syntax that need to be followed in order to perform some task. And in programming language there are two types. So the first one is the general purpose programming language. The general purpose programming language is having the capability to build a complete software. Means a website, complete website, or creating a project completely by using that. So that is the general purpose language. So example for general purpose language is Java, C, C++. So these all are general purpose programming language. Now what is domain specific programming language? This is the second type of the programming language. So the domain specific programming language means it is only determined to certain domain. So the SQL comes under the domain specific programming language. It is also a programming language, but it is come under the domain specific programming language, because we can use the SQL only for database. We can't be able to use the SQL as a front end and to build some website or build some app. We can't use that. We'll be using that only for the DBMS, that is database management system. Now what is the full form of the SQL? So the SQL full form is structured query language, and you can also pronounce it as SQL or SQL, and it is up to you, but I will be pronouncing it as SQL. And now we understood PHP and SQL. Now it's time for MySQL. The first and the biggest question is MySQL a programming language? So about 50% of the people who knows MySQL, who learned or who just heard about the MySQL, will definitely think that it is a programming language. But surprisingly, it is not a programming language. MySQL is an open source relational database management system. In this course, we will be learning the MySQL, which is from the Oracle. So it is a relational database management system software. So these are about the PHP, SQL and MySQL. But if you are having a little difficulty in understanding what is this interpreter compiler, then I have created a special video for interpreter, compiler and also assembler. So that will be provided in the description, so you can just check it out. So let's come back to the installation of the software. So I have downloaded the Sublime text, so I will just install that, and Xampp is just downloading, so I will just install this Sublime text. Click on the exe file and choose the path where you want to install the Sublime text. So in default it is C. I don't want to change that, so I'm just going to click on next. If you need this, then you can just tick, or else you can leave. So I'm just ticking it and I'm just going to next. So install. So it will take little time, it will be installed very soon. So now I have installed and I'm just clicking finish. So now my Sublime text has been installed successfully. So what I will be going to do is I will just open that Sublime text. This is how our Sublime text will look, and we will go in deep in next video about how to use this. So I'm just showing how to install in this video. So just install this, and now let's go to the second one, that is Xampp. So it will be taking 12 seconds to now download. So and now let me just go to the MySQL. So I will also provide the link in the description. So just go to that link and just click on this go to download page, and you will be redirected to this page, and just click on this download MSI installer. I have previously installed that. So the reason why I have previously installed and I haven't uninstalled means it is really going to take more data, and as I said, I am facing some internet issue, so I am not be able to do this, to download and re-download and to reinstall that. So I haven't uninstalled that, but I will show each and every step clearly. So you can see here it is a web community installer. So just go and install this, and please note one thing, that while you are installing this Xampp and MySql Workbench, there is a necessary for that to be in the same node folder, same drive. Means if you are installing the C drive, that should be both Xampp and MySql should be same in the C drive only. And if you are installing the D drive, then definitely both of them should be there in the D drive. So just click on the download and install, and now Xampp has been downloaded. I am just going to install that. So I'm just clicking on the next here, and I need only MySQL here, so I am not going to install all of these. So if you need, you can just install, and PHPMyAdmin I need, so I am just clicking only those PHPMyAdmin, MySQL and Apache server. So if you need any other thing, you can just install that. So I'm just clicking on the next here, and I am changing the location here to D drive. So the reason here means I have installed that MySQL in the D drive, and I also need to install the Xampp in the same drive. So for that reason, I am installing that in the D drive. So you can see here MySQL is there, so I am installing that Xampp in the D drive. So I am going to install in the D, and in that I am going to create a folder as Xampp. So you can see that. So I am just going to next, and I am just going to next. I am choosing language as English, so just next, and it will take some time to install, and you will be redirected to the page that thank you for installing the Xampp. It will take some time, so let me just go to the MySQL here. So as I said, I won't be going to show how to install that. So it is similar to this. You need to install that, and after installing that web community installer, you will be getting a MySQL installer. There is option for you to select custom. So just select on that, and just select this MySQL Workbench and shell. These are really necessary. These are really very essential for us to move on. And it will be really good if you choose this connector C++ also. And all of the, if you are having good data and internet data, then definitely you can choose all of that and you can install all of them. So I'm just making sure, please make sure that you have installed this Workbench and Shell and this connector C++. So please make sure you install these three. So you just go out to the custom, and let me just show how to add. So if I just click on the add here, so you can get the things like this. So I haven't installed this MySQL servers here, and if I just click on this applications, so MySQL Workbench, so just click on this and just click on like this. So I have already installed, so it is the reason why it is showing like that. So if you are new user, if you haven't installed, it will definitely make that to the right side, which will list down what are the product or features that need to be installed. Similarly, MySQL Shell, definitely click on this and just click on this. So it is not working because I have installed that previously. And connectors like C++, just do like this and install all of them. So that is the thing which you need to do in the MySQL installer. Please note that MySQL Workbench and MySQL Shell and connector C++. So you need to install all of that. So in case if while installing it is showing that Visual Studio is not present, then you need to download Visual Studio C++ because there is a necessity for you to have that. And installing that is really easy. So it won't take that much time also, and it is not having that much MB, I think, and you can easily install that. So this is about the MySQL installer, MySQL Workbench. So now you understood how to install the Sublime text and MySQL Workbench. So now while you are installing, you may get the alert that do you need to allow the Apache HTTP server to communicate on these networks. So just click on the tick button because there is necessity for you to allow that. So I'm just providing allow access. So now my installation is completed. So I'm just clicking on the finish and control panel will open. So this is the control panel where we will be starting our server and connecting with the database. We start our database. So I'm just clicking on the server connection and also the database connection. And all of these we have unchecked while installing. So please note that is the reason you are not getting any of the options to start that. So if you need, you can just reinstall that and modify the settings. So it is not a big problem. So for the scope of this course, there is no necessity for all of these, and it will really take some time to install. So I have skipped that. And now you have installed the Xampp and you have installed the Sublime text and you have installed the MySQL Workbench. Please note that if you haven't installed any of these softwares, just go and install all of this software, because in my upcoming videos you will be learning by doing and practicing by using these softwares. So definitely I recommend you to download this. So now you are all set to learn the PHP, HTML and MySQL. So now let's get started. And in case if you haven't watched, probably I don't think there is necessity for me to say. So if you haven't watched the KGF teaser, then definitely go and watch the teaser. The link will be provided in the description, or else you can just search it out. You will be getting that because it is in the trending. And just go and watch that video. And also please share this video and like this video, and also subscribe this channel if you are new to this channel. And keep learning, and all the best. Thank you guys.